Good day, ma'am, sir. We are here to present our research entitled The Effects of Playing Online Games to the Academic Performance of Grade 12 STEM 1P to 4P students of FINMA University of Pangasinan, school year 2019 to 2020, and has been approved by our research advisor, Ms. Bernadette Dara G. Del Monte.
I am here to talk all about the chapter 1, which is the problem and its background. First, what is online game? According to Robinson, online gaming is one of the widely used leisure activities by many people. Teenagers who are playing these online games said that they are playing these games just for fun, to keep away from the heat of the sun, without knowing that there are a lot of effects of playing these games that are more than they think. Playing online games, according to some research, is beneficial. It enables the mind of the players to be more active, especially those puzzle games based. It helps the player to come up with decisions in tight situations, especially those adventure games that keep the player to be alert, active, and strategic. Playing these types of games makes the player experience different feelings because it is as if the player is really the one taking the challenge. According to Morrell from 2018, academic performance was often measured more by ear than today. Teachers' observations alone made up the bulk of the assessment. The summation of numerical method of determining how well a student is performing is a fairly recent invention that is used in conjunction with teacher evaluations of students. These grading systems came into existence in the United States in the late Victorian period and were initially criticized due to high subjectivity. Robinson also says that long hours of playing video games can negatively affect the child's performance in school if he's preoccupied with video games. He can fail to work at his optimum level because he's exhausted from a late night of video game playing and have problem paying attention and have lower test scores than other children who don't spend as much time in front of television or video games. This study is conducted to answer the following problems, which is what is the profile of the respondents in terms of gender and general average? Second, how do playing online games affect the academic performance of the students in relation with class participation, numbers of hours spent in studying, and frequency of attendance in school? And the third, is there any significant relationship between playing online games and academic performance of the students? And this study covers the 215 senior high school students from grade 12 STEM 1P to 4P of Pinma University of Pangasinan, Arellano Street, Dagupan City. This study uses simple random sampling as a technique. The researchers gather information about the possible effects of playing online games on the academic performance of the student. It is conducted during the first semester of the school year 2019 to 2020 from June 2019 to October 2019 to identify the factors that affect the involvement to online games addiction of the students of University of Pangasinan to determine how it would affect their study habits.
We are here to present the Chapter 2 entitled Review of Related Literature and Studies. This chapter presents various literature and studies which have direct relevance on the study. The review of the following literature and studies can help the readers to better understand this study because various effects of playing online games are tackled in this chapter. Here is the review of related literature in local form. And according to the Junior Legacy 2009, online games are one of the medium entertainment, especially in the youth of modern era in Batangas. Virtual or cyber games over internet are one direct personally to each individual users. It encourages and requires the participation of individual of gamers. However, the study of the Tablan 2013 from Mix Up E-Games from Taguig. The project has different categories, shapes, math games, and more by creating various games that are fun yet educational. They'll have advanced learning before they go to school. The study of Jang 2011 explored the in-game experiences of massively multiplayer online game role-playing games. Furthermore, Ong 2012 claimed that employing a longitude design, 3 waves of data were collected over a 14 months period from a sample including 2,883 online gamers. Prospective analysis was used to establish causal and temporal linkages among the repeatedly measured factors. Regardless of the element of violence, online game has been envisioned as potentially effective tools of learning. Furthermore, researchers believe that one online game opened doors to computer legacy leading to the potential tech careers of 2009.
Review of related literature in foreign form. According to Griffiths 2010, there is a lack of consensus as to whether video game addiction. King 2011 said that clinical interventions and treatment for problematic and or addictive video game play vary considerably in the literature, with most of the very few published studies employing some type of cognitive behavioral therapy. Also, Lindstorm 2012, this master thesis discusses game development of the computer tablet with Apple's iPad as the target platform, while Cyber Psychology Behavior and Social Networking 2014, electronic games have rapidly become a popular form of human recreation, and immersive experiences they provide millions have led many to voice concerns that some games, and violent ones in particular, may negatively impact society. For Bachhuber and Solnier 2012, playing online games is an effective way of enhancing a student's reading comprehension.
We are here to tackle about Chapter 3 entitled Methodology. This chapter represents the research design, subject of study, data gathering instrument, collection of data, and statistical treatment of the data.
Research design is what the researchers use the descriptive method of research to describe the characteristic of the population or phenomenon that is being studied. The basic reason of adopting descriptive research is to identify the result, which is to find out the factor of effect of playing online games to the academic performance of the student.
The research local discussed were the research conducted at the School of Pinma University of Pangasinan, which is located at Arellano Street, Dagupan City, Pangasinan. It is within the high school vicinity in the campus. Data gathering procedure tells about the steps the researchers do to gather all the data needed. First, the researchers do the questionnaire regarding on how online games can affect the academic performance of a student. Next, the researchers give the questionnaire to the advisor for checking or consultation about the chosen questions. The third step is the researchers ask permission from the principal, and when it is accepted, the researchers get back the questionnaires.
Problem number 2, how do playing online games affect the academic performance of the student in relation with class participation, number of hours spent in studying, and frequency of attendance in class? For problem number 3, is there any significant relationship between playing online games and academic performance of the student? The researchers use the analysis of persons are.
We are here to tackle about Chapter 4 entitled Presentation, Analysis, and Interpretation. This chapter includes the presentation of data after conducting the survey as well as the data analysis and interpretation by employing the statistical tool mentioned in the previous chapter, whose main objective is to know the effect of playing online games to the academic performance.
This problem of this study focused on the profile of the grade 12 STEM 1P to 4P. The profile of the respondents helps to understand the concept and framework of the respondents. The following table show the frequency count and percentage distribution of the grade 12 STEM senior high school students. Section 1P to 4P in FINMA University of Pangasinan. With their gender and general average, the table 1 shows the profile and the result of gender as shown in the table above. The student that is female are 56 or 40% and the male are 84 or 60%. The result in gender. Profiling shows that most of the respondents are male and based to the statistical data of distribution of computer and video gamers in the United States from 2006 to 2019. By gender of most of the player is men, but the statistic shows the gender split among US computer and video gamers.
From 2006 to 2019, in 2019, it was calculated that women accounted for nearly 46% of all gamers in the United States, a slight increase over the previous year, and based on the finding the student whose general average, that is 75 to 80, are 42 and 86%, 81 to 85 are 27 or 19 and 29%, 86 to 90 are 48 or 38 for and 29%. 91 to 95 are 51 or 36 and 43%. And 96 to 100 are 10 or 7 and 14%. This shows that most of the respondents' average is good based on the percentage that the researchers got. And in table 2 and the shows the effect of playing online games affect the academic performance of the student as answered by the respondents. Most of the results it shows that most of them excels in academic performance, and they also agree that there is a significant relationship between academic performance and online games.
We are here to discuss the Chapter 5 entitled Summary, Conclusion, and Recommendation. This chapter presents the summary of the findings, so conclusion draw from the findings and the corresponding recommendation. The findings tells that this study aims to understand the effects of playing online games to the academic performance of grade 12 STEM students at PINMA University of Pangasinan, school year 2019 to 2020. In order to gather necessary data needed for the study and answer the problems stated in Chapter 1, the researcher used the descriptive correlation design as a design of the study. The following were observed. This tells the profile of the respondents. The respondents of the survey questionnaire are from grade 12 STEM of PINMA University of Pangasinan, where there are 56 female, which is lesser than males, which is 86 or 60 of the respondents. Most of the respondents responded that 51 of a general average of 95, which is the highest rate in the survey, while in the other hand, the lowest score came from 4 respondents responded that they got a 75 to 80 general average in their grade 11 school year 2018 to 2019. The conclusion tells that questions being stated in the statement of the problem under Chapter 1 was given answers by the help of the surveys questionnaires prepared and floated by the researchers. The researchers further concluded that question number 1. Researchers conclude that based on the findings, most of the respondents are male and most of them got the highest general average.
Question number 2. Correspond to researcher findings. Online games barely affect the participation of a student because based on the survey questionnaires that is connected on how do playing online games affected the academic performance. Question number 3. There is a significant relationship between relationship status and general weight average in school year 2018 to 2019. Therefore, alternative hypothesis is accepted.
This research is dedicated to Almighty Father who taught me that the best kind of knowledge to have is that which is learned for its own sake. It is also dedicated to my parents who taught me that even the largest task can be accomplished if it's done one step at a time.
The scope and the limitation of the study covers 215 senior high school students from STEM 1P-4P of Quincy University of Pangasinan, Ydrianne Street, Dagupan City, and uses simple random sampling as a technique. All researchers gather all information about playing online games affects their academic performance of a student.
We encounter a lot of limitations during this research. First, the limited time given to finish the chapter 1. Second, the time given are limited to finish the survey. And third, we have a limited time to finish and pass the whole chapter. Our research questions are interesting because millennials nowadays are into playing online games. And it is important because we want to know how online game can affect the students.
The most important side of our research is the findings because it helps us to compute the level of the research hypothesis.
Our research methodology is descriptive method. We choose this method to identify the result, which is to find out the factors of effect of playing online games to the academic performances.
The respondents of our research are 140 among 213 grade 12 1P to 4P. The researchers are using random sampling technique.
The measurement instrument used was surveying because it is easier to conduct.
Our findings shows that male are more than females, and in general average, the most response is the average of 90 to 95. The original about their work is the thing that we put there and our effort to gather all the informations.
The strength of our thesis is it allows for a connection with other people over a common interest to develop skills and make new. The weakness of our thesis, it is consuming important of your life such as schooling.
Our recommendation says that students must go to the seminar even once in a month to help them to be aware of things that they are doing.
This study primarily important to students for it will give them information about the impacts they may get from online games.
If we are to conduct the study again, we will not change it because we are able to understand ideas of one another and we are able to hear the thoughts of others.
The advice that I can give to myself is be more patient and help my fellow researchers to gather more valid information.